Top 5 deadliest prisons in the world. Of course, nobody wants to go to prison, but there are some prisons that you really don't want to be imprisoned in as an inmate. Being in jail is only part of the problem. Staying alive is the bigger issue. Here are the top 5 most dangerous prisons in the world. Number 5. At number 5, La Santé prison in Paris, France. According to whistleblower and former prison official Véronique Vasseur, this prison was a hellhole where prisoners are forced to live out their sentences in concrete cells full of rats and lice. Inmates are prone to lose their sanity as they deal with the harsh daily realities of life at La Santé, which translates ironically to health in the English language. The well-being of inmates is very low on the list of priorities for the French administrators of this torture chamber on a grand scale. Weaker inmates are routinely enslaved by stronger ones, and rapes are a daily event at the prison. The tendency to suicide could be linked to the terrible living conditions that plunge inmates into clinical depression. Overcrowding, understaffing, and prison violence led these people to swallow drain cleaner in order to end their suffering once and for all. Number 4. Diyarbakir prison in Turkey is at 4. This prison has been cited for its human rights violations, which are thought to cross the line into true atrocity. From 1981 to 1984, 34 prisoners lost their lives due to the excessive instances of torture, both mental and physical, practiced at Diyarbakir. This prison is notorious for the sexual abuse of its inmates and its unlivable conditions. Prisoners have attempted hunger strikes, set themselves on fire in protest of prison conditions, and committed suicide in order to escape the horrors of this Turkish facility. It is known to incarcerate mere children for sentences of life imprisonment, and its crimes against humanity make it one of the world's most sadistic and forbidding penal institutions. Number 3. Making it to number 3, La Sabanita prison, Venezuela. Venezuela is known for its brutal prisons where violence is a daily occurrence and inmates are at the mercy of disease outbreaks, underpaid staff, little medical services, and insufficient food and care. La Sabanita is the worst of the worst, a place where cholera outbreaks have wiped out 700 inmates amidst appalling violence and riots that triggered a horrific massacre of 100 inmates back in 1994. Death is rampant at La Sabanita, and the hair-trigger tempers of inmates and staff are thought to be linked to idleness and boredom, as no activities are permitted to release tension. Left to their own devices, prisoners fight among themselves, fashion shifts and other deadly weapons, and kill one another in this truly archaic penal facility. Number 2. Syria's Tadmor prison is at number 2. The death count may not rank Tadmor prison as number 1 on this list, but no other prison will send such shivers down your spine. The violence at Tadmor is so gruesome and utterly merciless, it is sickening. Described as the kingdom of death and madness by a former detainee, Tadmor features bloodthirsty guards who butcher inmates with axes and political prisoners, meaning non-violent protesters who are starved to concentration camp emaciation by prison administrators. In 1980, after an assassination attempt on the president in Damascus, inmates were made to pay the ultimate price as commandos landed at Tadmor in helicopters and butchered as many as 500 prisoners in their cells. This warning sent a clear message to Syrians about staying in line. When guards are not busy tying up inmates and dragging them to death, they can be found chopping up body parts in one of the prison's several courtyards. Number 1. Carandiru prison in Brazil is number 1 and beyond belief. The body count was sky high at this notorious Brazilian prison, where riots in 1992 triggered a massacre of the general population by local police. Inmates who had already given in and surrendered to police were shot as they cowered in terror in their tiny cells. Deaths at this facility are thought to be as many as 1,300 over its 46-year history. The reign of terror by prison officials was stopped in 2002 when the prison was closed amidst campaigns from Amnesty International and reports of gross human rights violations that could not be quieted by Brazilian officials. The violence wasn't the only thing threatening the unfortunate residents of this dark place. An AIDS epidemic at the facility spread rapidly, with as many as 1 in 5 of the inmates suffering from the disease.